Good evening, everyone. How's everybody out there? All right, so tonight we're having creators talk on tonight. And tonight we're talking about why the old content strategy may not work anymore. The rules have changed, platforms have shifted, and creators have to adjust if they want to stay visible in 2026. And that's the talk for tonight. And of course, I have some gurus that are going to help us talk about it on tonight. Yeah, first up, Mr. C.S. Lewis. Charleton, how are you, sir?
What's going on, sir? It's good to be here as always.
Yes, sir. Glad to have you in the building, my friend. Appreciate you being here. And we also have Mr. Jeremy Reece.
What's going on? Appreciate you having me.
Jay Reece, how are you, sir?
All right. How about yourself?
Doing good, sir. Appreciate you being here, too. All right. Well, listen, while you're here, may as well like this video, share this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But we're going to just jump right into this. All right, guys. So there's a lot of changes going on in the internet streets. A whole lot of changes. That's why we have y'all both here, because y'all are the gurus of the algorithm. So maybe y'all can help the people, help us all here on tonight to kind of figure out some algorithms. Not only that, but talk about some of your content strategies. You know, what's working, what will work. How can we do better as content creators when it comes to these algorithm changes and everything that's going on? And of course, why the old way may not work. So I don't know who wants to start first, but I don't know, Charleton, you look like you got something. You just look so eager right there. Your face, your face just looks like, man, I'm ready. Charleton look like I'm ready. But no, C comes before J, I guess. So let's just go ahead and start with you, sir. What have you? I don't know. Maybe you can just talk about, just some things you working on and content strategy, and just however you want to go, whatever direction you want to go with.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, first off, man, I want to say thanks for having us on here.
Absolutely.
I think when it comes to content strategy, I would probably offer one of the best things you can do is exactly what we're doing right here is get a community. There's nothing more imperative than getting outside of your own head and linking up with other content creators across different platforms, not just whatever platform you specialize in. Get people in different niches, people in different geographic locations. Like, it's so important that you link up with people, bounce your ideas off of them, let them tell you what they're doing. So community is always going to be king when it comes to any type of growth strategy. And in that same vein, not only get a community, but I would encourage you to get a coach or a mentor of some sort. And if you can find one, that is just willing to kind of pour in you, that's great. Even if you have to hire a coach, I would honestly, get in contact with somebody who's where you're trying to be, whether you're trying to grow a business, whether you're just trying to grow a podcast, whether you're just trying to get product out there. It's just like it is so just important that you get advice from people that are finding success and that you implement it and that you do it quickly. So that's probably my number one tool right there is get a community and get a mentor. That would bode well.
Whoa, bro, you really set the bar with that for real. So I love that. Get a community just to kind of talk about things, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a whole lot. I know a lot of people think that, oh man, it's a whole lot I don't know. And so that's why I'm glad we were able to kind of come together and talk about this stuff, because we can learn. And I think I have that in the details of this video, and even the last one, that the main thing, or one of the main objectives, is for us to be able to learn from each other. Not only that, we can help others. So you hit the nail on the head. Get in that community, because it's hard. It can be really hard, and sometimes you can feel real defeated. Of course, maybe y'all can share some story. But Jay Reece, would you like to piggyback off of that and offer some of your sound bites on that, sir.
So for us, I would say you want to be very intentional about what you're doing. Make sure like every video that you create kind of has purpose, and you know, when you first start off, you might not necessarily know like exactly what you want to do. You kind of experimenting. But once you figure that out, you know, you just kind of want to stick with what you see that's working. So that's what we're trying to do. Um, you know, we kind of been mainly focusing on the funny aspect and, you know, family, but we also want to get back to how we originally started, which was the podcast. We kind of been neglecting that part and, you know, sticking with just, you know, the funny video content creation. Um, because you don't want to just get sucked into like these algorithms and just be feeding the algorithm, doing and creating for it. You want to just, you know, double down on what works. And for us, that's marriage comedy, conversation, stuff to make you laugh, and try to appeal to the audience that God has for you. Uh, God has given everybody, you know, a certain audience to reach. And if you see that, you know, people that you would think would support you or whatever is not there, just continue to focus in on the community that you have at the moment, whether that's strangers or whatever, and, you know, continue to build up on that community. So that's what we're trying to do um, with our content creation, and just try to make the packaging get better. If you see where I started in the beginning, you'll definitely be able to see, wow, like he's come a long way with, you know, how he's creating his content. The more you do it, the easier it gets and the better it gets.
Yeah, most absolutely. Yep, agree with that wholeheartedly. So let me ask this question. So in regards to community and just even starting content creation, what, how would y'all say? How would you say like someone should, like someone's trying to create content, but how would they go about getting that community? Like Charlton, you said get a mentor, get a coach. Um, what would you say to somebody that said, "Yeah, man, I would like a coach"? How would they go about? What would that process look like?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The good news is that a lot of your big content creators out there, they have aspects of their platform where they do coaching calls, they do mentoring, and I think that you've touched on this, Brian, in some of your other podcasts. That you know you may see somebody that's larger than life. They may have either like a very thriving business, or they might have hundreds of thousands, even millions of followers online, and you may think that they are inaccessible,
Hmm.
or if you try to reach out to them, that they'll just ghost you. You'd be surprised how very human these people are. So if you've got a favorite content creator out there, I would encourage you to just reach out to them. Go old school. It's kind of like, you know, the quote unquote pounding pavement, um, and see if they have a feature of their platform to where they do coaching calls. And other than that, you know, just I would specifically go on whatever platform you're trying to develop and search for people that offer that service. I don't know why I feel like as you become more well versed in content creation, your timelines will be fed these type of people. I feel like on every platform I'm on, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I feel like there are people that are being fed into my timeline, that uh, are either creators. All they do is assist other creators build their platforms. So if your budget says so and you can hire one of them, do it. You know, and if not, you know, there's always people in your immediate vicinity, whether it's at your church, whether it's at your, you know, your job, or just in your local neighborhood. There's always people around who are content creators. Reach out to them, and everybody likes to talk about what they're passionate about. I don't know anybody that does content
Hmm.
creation that's not passionate. So I mean, you and the thing is, you can learn from anybody. So I mean, even if it's somebody that may not have quote unquote huge success, they probably still have great advice.
Yes, sir. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And like you said, yeah, sometimes just reaching out to people, you'll be surprised that they love what they do, and some of them they will help you out, or they will give you some advice, even point you in the right direction. Sometimes I think fear, which we just talked about this with Lindsay Boyd. Sometimes fear holds us back, where we think that, like you said, Charlton, well, there's no way this person there's no way this person reach back out to me. But you just never know until you actually do. And so if you want to, try to get ahead or get to somewhere where somebody else is, sometimes you do just got to connect with the right people, and you just never know. They can help you out. Mr. Jeremy Reece, what say you, sir?
So I'll kind of speak to what I was talking about as far as community. The more you post, just like when you're scrolling on social media, you're constantly getting fed stuff from the algorithm that the algorithm thinks you want to see. So the more and more you post, the algorithm is going to continue to try to put your content in front of people that like your type of content. So the more you that's why it's important to have a niche, because if you're looking to grow, a certain community who likes that type of content, stay consistent with that type of content, and it's going to continue to try to find that audience and to help you build that community of people who like to indulge with your content. So I would say continue to post and stay consistent so that you can grow your community. So that's kind of what I'm doing with Facebook right now. I'm honing in on our marriage page and trying to stay consistent there, and it's growing. So that's my thing right now. Stick with what's working, stay consistent, and that community will come.
All right. Yeah. No. Totally agree. Yes, staying consistent, and I guess we want to jump into some content strategy that maybe we can talk about what you're actually doing, like what your content strategy actually looks like. And I want to say to everyone that is watching, don't forget to like this video. Also, if you got questions, make sure you put them in the chat, or you could just say hello, put that in the chat as we go through this discussion. Of course, I know there probably won't be a lot. There probably, I'll say, will be a lot of things that we talk about, and maybe some things that we not talk about. So you feel free to share some of the things maybe that you're doing as well in the comment section. I want to say good evening to Mr. Micah Flemings. How are you, sir? Appreciate you being here.
Micah, what's going on, sir?
Yeah, man, I see Micah show up to everybody's live. Appreciate you, sir, being here. Appreciate you. All right, so let's talk about some content strategy. Like, what does that look like? Like, Jeremy, you stated that, you're trying to be more consistent. So tell us, maybe you can share, like, what does your content strategy look like? Like, maybe the platforms you are posting content on, I know y'all do a lot of shorts and reels, comedies and all that. So what's the process like? Like, how are you able to put out this content? Because it seems like every time I jump on, it's a new video by Jeremy and Devion. So how are y'all doing this, sir?
So I'm gonna, stick with what works for us. So we'll do the bulk shooting. That's what works. Like, if we want to have new content while we have the time, because you never know what the next week is going to be like. You might think you have a plan, but plans change. So whenever you have time, shoot it in bulk. Hey, okay, I know I want to shoot 5 videos, and I can pocket those and spread those out over the next, few weeks, because mixed in with the new content, I'm still going to do reposts, because there's millions of people out there, and there's still somebody who hasn't seen it the first time. And even people within your own following, it doesn't show your content to everybody. Some, one day they might not get on the platform, so they didn't see it. So that's why I hone in on repost. And from what I understand about repost, specifically with Facebook, you got to at least allow 30 days, because If you don't, it's actually they're actually sending you messages saying, "Oh, we didn't block it or anything, but we noticed this is within 30 days, so it's okay. You just want to wait at least 4 weeks before you repost." So just that's kind of what's helping me stay consistent with the creation is bulk creating and reposting, because you don't want to just continue to create new content. You don't have time for that. So do a little bit of both, and you won't be spread thin. Now, when you first started out, you don't have content to repost, so you're gonna have to build up that library of content first before you can do the repost. But once you got enough videos, mix in the old and the new, and it'll help you kind of stay consistent.
Okay, so that is great advice. So I got a question. So you say you do bulk recordings, maybe for some that don't know what that is. So, or batch, I guess you could say. I'm not sure which word. I can't remember which word, but that's y'all recording multiple videos, right, for that day.
Right. So before you even get to that point, you kind of want to have built up a list of content that you actually want to create. That's the planning part. So, you take the time out to say, okay, I know I want to do this video, I want to do this video, and you have that list so that when you get ready to record, you won't be guessing, oh, what I'm gonna do right now. I don't know. You already have your list. You create those videos that you put in your list, and that's what bulk recording is, just creating a lot of videos within a certain amount of time, maybe like 2 hours, so that you have a bunch of videos ready to go when you want to post. And once you actually have those videos and you actually edit them, and that's where the calendar part comes in. I can just put this video on the calendar to be scheduled to post, so that I'm not manually doing it, because I might not have time to manually post it.
All right. So y'all record multiple videos. So that means y'all have them wrote out, right? So you working on your scripts, and then y'all record it, and then you got to edit it, which is the time consuming booger.
Correct. And I would say lean in on edits, because they kind of made it easy for you. They have a way where you can be going through different videos, and they have it set up where you can bookmark that video, and you can kind of add a note. There's like a note option. You can attach that note to the video, and you can say, hey, well, I like this video and I want to put this spin on it. That's planning right there. Like, you watching other creators, and it's actually giving you ideas, and you're taking down that information so that it can help you record your content.
Okay, great advice. Bulk recording. Yeah, I think that is probably one of the great genius moves to do, especially when you got time in a day. If you can record 2 or 3 videos in a day, and then I don't know how y'all do it, but I don't know if y'all edit the same day. Maybe you don't, but I guess we can talk about that. Of course, I know we talk kind of about editing and what editing programs to use. We can probably dive into that too. But I think that is some great advice to bulk record, especially if you got the time, because it's gonna save you time in the long run.
And I'm gonna say this for me.
Yeah.
For me, like, my bulk recording is different because I do a lot of shorts now.
Right.
Charleton can kind of speak on that. He does, the long form mainly. So, that's, I don't know. It could work because you can see the lesson plan ahead of time, but he's only dropping a few videos a week for, the Sunday school lesson. So that may look different from him, but I'm mainly speaking from, creating short form content.
Gotcha. Yes, sir. All right. Well, you mentioned Charleton. So Charleton, it's probably 4 videos that I'm seeing that gets pushed out of Just Teach Ministries, and you and Tamika kind of balancing it. So what does that look like for you guys? Like, how are you able to create this content, record it, edit it, write it out? I mean, what does that look like for you, sir?
Yeah, so if I were to piggyback Jeremy's suggestion on the recording in bulk, on a platform like mine where we do long format content, what that might look like is me recording 2 or 3 lessons at once, ideally well ahead before the week that I intend to release them, and then using an AI platform like Opus Clips to chop up that long format content and create shorts. And then what you want to do is start releasing those shorts as advertisement for the upcoming long format video. That's in an ideal situation. So I agree with Jeremy. It's easier, a lot easier to record in bulk. I think the most I've ever done, because my my long format videos can be like 45 minutes. So I think the longest I've ever done, most I've ever done is like maybe 2 videos. I don't think I've ever recorded 3 lessons at once. It's pretty taxing. But every content creator will tell you to do that, to record in bulk. If I could pivot just for a second, because there is something I wanted to throw out there to somebody. When you talk about content creative strategy, I would encourage you to take the time to identify what's your goal with creating content, because understand, everybody's not necessarily trying to quote unquote grow. Some people are just chasing a passion. You know, some people are just talking about a topic that they're passionate about, or somebody just likes creating pictures and videos, and they like the art of videography. And understand, if this is just your passion, you know, some of this conversation that we're having may not land with you. But the moment you say like, oh, I have a business and I'm trying to grow a business, or I have product and I'm trying to push product, or I'm trying to do ministry, I'm trying to reach people, you know, or if, I mean, and there's nothing wrong. A lot, we all know it's not taboo. These platforms do pay money to successful content creators. If you're like, hey, I'm just trying to generate extra money to help my family, the moment strategy is introduced to your content creation, you really need to shift your mindset to be strategic. And one of the greatest strategies that I can offer anybody is to do competitor analysis. You know, the reality is that all of these platforms, all of these algorithms, they reward trends. And you have to see what the top contributors are producing and see how you can produce something that is your quote unquote spin on what's trending. You know, the only people out there that can post content that's not trending and it still get traffic are famous people. If you're not a celebrity, if you're not a professional athlete, if you're not an actor or actress, you can post content all day and it could be fire, it could be great content, but nobody knows who you are. So it's not gonna catch, you know, any trend. So you really do have to quote unquote play the game, especially in the beginning. Find out what people what some of the big content creators are creating. And please understand, some of these big platforms, they have whole teams dedicated to this. You know, they have people that they've hired on staff, 2 and 3 people teams that sit all day and scour, you know, platforms to see what are other people creating. So if you have somebody big like that Hermosi guy, I can't remember his name right now, if he puts out a video, then you go across and you look at somebody like this guy his name is like Ali Asib or something like that. He's out of the UK. They'll end up posting videos that are the exact same title almost, because one person looked at the other person's platform and said, oh, he's creating this. Let me create something that is my spin on it. That's not copying. That's not plagiarism. That's strategy. Now, the way that you can, you know, feel like you're not just copying people is just look at the title. Look at the thumbnail. You don't even have to watch the video, because if you watch the video, you might be tempted to say what they're saying. You know, I know plenty of people that do Sunday school lessons online. I don't listen to any of their videos until after I've already recorded my own, and then I go back and listen to theirs, and I support them, and I like their videos. I comment on them. You know, I like to see what other people are doing. But you know, it's really important that you know, if you are a content creator and you do product reviews for electronics, Marquez Brownlee, great platform, has almost like 20 million followers. If he you just reviewed the new iPhone 18 that's coming out, do a review on iPhone 18. If he just did a review on some type of, new camera that came out, do a review on the same camera, and catch the wave. So when you talk about being success, I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel. You definitely have to do competitor analysis. That would be my best advice to you, so that you can get some traction.
Oh, follow the trends. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And like you said,
I'm gonna piggyback on him real
Go
quick.
ahead.
He said so. That's one thing that like so I watch a lot of, like he said earlier, about getting mentors or coaches. So I don't necessarily have a mentor or coach, but I follow certain people and their channels where they talk about, they're basically online coaches for free. They have paid services where you can get extra and they can individually coach you, but they also dropping nuggets and giving it free to everybody. So that's one of the things they'll tell you out there is find you about 10 large creators within your niche, and maybe find a few smaller creators, but right now, their content, is blowing up basically. So you want to follow them, and like he said, you want to see what are they posting. They have different applications that you can actually type in competitors, and it'll do all the analysis for you, show you what time of the day they're posting, so you can kind of, maybe if I post close to when they're posting, it'll come up in the feed of their audience. Like there's different ways you can do that. But once you follow them and you see what they're doing, like he said, I just had a conversation with my wife about that. Like, it was like, right now, there's certain videos that we'll make, and we might have been inspired by somebody else's video and we put our twist on it. But that's coming one day where we're going to be the ones where we create the original content, and people are going to be copying ours, putting their spin on it. And I'm not saying copying, like he said, is plagiarizing, but they're going to be inspired to put their twist on what you create. But you definitely want to leverage that, because when you have those competitors and you put your own spin on it, the algorithm can sometimes push you into their audience, and that's where you want to be. You want to be pushed to the audience of similar creators.
Yeah, and if I could, maybe even tweak what I said with competitor analysis and just say community analysis, because the reality is that high tides raise all boats. So you really don't need to look at other content creators as your competition, because that's not the way any of this stuff works. It's actually, I mean, I know sometimes when you're in business, you think, oh, I want to sell this exclusive product that nobody else has, so that people have to come to me for it. You don't have to worry about that with content creation. If people have a topic that they are interested in, they want to see several different creators talk about that exact same topic, and they want to glean from all of them. So it actually behooves you, like what Jeremy is saying, to lock into a niche, lock into a community of content creators, and create similar. It might be the same topic, might be similar strategy, but it's different content. The substance is different.
Correct us, Charleton, with the community. Correct that. No, all of that is good, because why reinvent the wheel when you can just follow maybe some trends or other content creators, like you stated, if they're talking about the newest iPhone that's coming out, everybody's going to be talking about it. So why not jump into that arena and put your content out there? Because like Charleton says, and I do it too, where I want to see everybody or multiple people talk about this one thing, so that I could get a good understanding of what it is that I need to do. So yes, I think that will definitely help creators follow the trends. Even looking at their titles, their thumbnails that they use, the graphics they use, and just different things like that. So all of that is great advice. Let's see. We got a comment here. Miss Tamika Lewis says she says facts about the whole teams, and that's something that I think just want to hit home with that. When you are watching these content creators, you do need to understand that they do have teams, whereas we're just kind of one man shows where we're kind of doing it all. We're doing the editing, we're doing the scripting, we're doing the recording, and or our spouses may be helping us, right? But it's still hard for us because, you know, if we try to compete with these people that have these big teams, they're pushing out content. I mean, almost daily, you know, every other day they're pushing out stuff. So I would say to creators, you know, don't get lost in that sauce where you see that, man, how are they able to do this? They have a whole team behind them pushing them. So just do what you can do, and but look for easy ways to manage it, make it easier. So follow those trends. All right. So I want to now kind of jump on. Jeremy kind of talked about this. He talked about Facebook and how that you know, they repurpose content. So a lot of these platforms, they have different. Like I don't know what I think was it YouTube, Jeremy, that does. Oh no, you said Facebook allows you to repurpose for 30 days. So I don't know what YouTube does, but all of the algorithms are different. They change, and actually, most of them, a lot of them have just changed. So I'm not able to keep up. I don't know what to do, where to start, but. How can I get my content where the algorithm is befriending it and sharing it with others? What's a strategy we can do to make it beneficial? I think being consistent is one, but I don't know. Jay Reece, what's your thoughts?
So I'll talk about a couple, and then I'll leave YouTube to Charleton. He's the YouTube expert.
Charleton is a YouTube expert. I agree with that. He's a YouTube
so I would say, yeah. So I would say, I do know with Instagram you can repurpose content. I believe it's 60 days. Don't quote me on that, but I believe you at least need to wait 60 days before you repost to Instagram. But Facebook, 30 days, you can do it. They now allow you to upload bulk reels. So if you had a lot of videos and you just want to upload them all and then schedule them within Facebook, you can do that. They've integrated, you know, some calendar options into the business suite if you want to go in there and use their planning. They also have a new, I don't know if y'all have seen it. If you have a professional profile, at least, they have a new AI assistant within there, and it's constantly giving you tips about your video. So as soon as I post the video, if I wait like 30 minutes and go within the dashboard, it'll tell me, okay, you're starting to get traction on your video. You have a strong hook. And if after, you know, an hour or so, it'll update it and say, hey, well, it's getting pushed out to more people. So they have an AI assistant that you can leverage to help grow your content. It'll also tell you if your hook is not good, because it'll tell you, like, people swiped away in the first 3 seconds. So you may want to change your hook. But it'll tell you what's working and what's not working and try to get you to double down. And you can actually have a conversation with it. You can say, hey, what time of day is best for me to post? It'll analyze maybe like within a time frame, like maybe the last 7 days or whatever, or maybe the last few videos. It'll say, based on the videos you recently posted, between this time you had the most engagement. So you may want to post here. Like, you can ask it whatever, and they built that and integrated that AI into the platform where it can help you grow. So I would say leverage that, and also the same goes for Instagram with the AI.
That's on Facebook. They have the AI feature. Where is this feature at?
Yeah, so if you go within the dashboard, so you have to have a professional profile or a page.
Oh, okay.
And once you unlock that within the dashboard, you'll see that option when you hit the dashboard button.
Okay. I didn't know that. And that's not because you got almost 10,000 followers, is it? That they show you about your hook is strong, or it's not doing that well?
So I'm not sure because profile is already set up like that. Um, but once you get to a certain number of followers, it's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Charlton mentioned, when we spoke recently, like his is opened up, and he didn't have to have 10,000 followers. Like it varies based on your page when you can unlock certain features. So I would say at minimum you want to at least have those two, and then like a professional profile or page, and then at some point, if you don't have it after you do that, it'll be unlocked. They give you certain goals when you first try to start growing your page. It'll ask you, what do you want? Do you want to build a community? Do you want to make money? Um, do you want to get views? Whatever it is, you can pick one of those options, and they'll give you different tasks throughout the week. They may say, post 5 reels this week, respond to 10 comments, post this many stories, whatever it may be. And if you accomplish those goals, then it'll say, okay, you're serious about this. We're going to give you new goals. It's going to be even higher. It's going to keep getting higher. And as you continue to hit those goals, you'll unlock different monetization categories, and also different features within that dashboard or tools to help you continue to grow.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I'm wondering though if that's because y'all on such a high level, if you're getting all those great features. But I don't know. But okay, I'm gonna let Charlton speak his piece, and then I wanna talk about like titles and stuff with the videos. But go ahead, Charlton. You wanna piggyback off of that or?
Yeah, no. I would say with YouTube, probably one of the biggest changes in the algorithm is that the algorithm is less creator centric and more interest driven now. That's probably the biggest change that I see. So what I mean by that is that in times past, if you had a large platform that had, like, let's say 1 million followers, you were pretty much guaranteed to have your content pushed out to a certain number of people because you had so many subscribers. And that's why you would always hear content creators say subscribe to the channel, right? Because they push it out to your subscribers first, and then they push it out to the mass markets depending on how a video does within your group initially, within your subscriber group. It's not like that anymore. It doesn't really matter how many subscribers you have now. You can have a very small amount of subscribers, as long as people are looking and searching for the topic that you created a video about. It will be pushed out to people well beyond your subscriber account. And that's why you can look at a lot of large content creators who in times past were having, like, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views. Now they're barely breaking 10,000. You hear a lot of people talk about even Mr. Beast, how Mr. Beast, his videos have taken a huge hit, and he doesn't really get as many. I mean, he's still killing the game. You know what I'm saying? He's Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
But I know plenty of content creators that have, like, 400,000 and 500,000 followers, and they'll post a video and it'll get like 2,000 views, which was unheard of in times past. And then you might have a content creator that has like 1,000 subscribers, and they'll push out a video and it'll get like 40 or 50,000 views. Why? Well, because of the interest. And what YouTube is trying to do is they're trying to give smaller channels an opportunity to reach large audiences. YouTube has always been a platform that has tried to give the smaller content creators, the real authentic people, an opportunity to push out, whatever it is that they're trying to push out. And I think that that's a huge benefit. And I think that should encourage, if you're the type of person that either you don't have a channel and you've been thinking about starting a channel, or maybe you have a smaller channel and you feel like you haven't had as much traction in times past. Now is an opportunity for you to get some traction that you've never had before. And if you're on the sidelines and you haven't created a channel, now is the time to create that channel, because it really doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. I tell people now, just get to whatever you need to get monetized. And after that, it don't even matter. You don't even got to tell people subscribe to my channel anymore, because it doesn't matter if they subscribe or not. They're still going to push out your content. So that should really be exciting and encouraging to people.
Yeah. And see, for me, I think YouTube for me is probably the easier platform to try to win on. That's just for me, but yeah, I struggle with the others. But yeah, I think YouTube is really for me. Like I stated, I think they are making it more easier for smaller platforms. Like if you only got 10, it doesn't matter. It seems that they are trying to move that way. With the other platforms, it seems like it's more hard. I guess that's where Jeremy is more of an expert with the others. Um, but yeah, I would agree that YouTube is probably the easier platform for me. But yeah,
I
we'll.
would say like Facebook and Instagram, they're more engagement based at the moment. So what I mean by that is the share rate is important. Like how many people watched your content and they shared it with somebody. They shared it to their story, they shared it to the page, they shared it in the DM. Like Instagram is really big on that. Like if you go into, so they have kind of a dashboard like Facebook where now it'll tell you everything. It'll tell you, it'll list them. So the list that they have is in most importance. So the most important right now, skip rate. How many
Mm,
people saw your video and they skipped in the first 3 seconds? That's going to signal stop showing this content to other people because they're swiping on it.
hmm.
Then if you get past the first 3 seconds, that means you got a pretty decent hook. So your skip rate is good. They're going to go to the share rate. How many people shared it? That's more weightier than likes. So next is going to be likes. And it just keeps going down from there, like watch time and everything. But right now, with Instagram and Facebook, they're really big on engagement. So, like he was saying, whereas you might have like, because even my regular page, I have 40,000, almost 40,000 followers in it, but it's taking a huge hit.
Hmm.
The engagement rate is going down. And the other page I'm growing, the engagement rate is up. So I don't have as many followers, but because people are engaging, that's what's pushing it out. So those two platforms right now are heavily focused on that. So if you don't have a lot of followers, but you got a good, engagement rate, then you can quickly grow as long as you keep that when it comes to Instagram and Facebook.
Mm. Nice, nice, nice. All right. You talked about hooks. I want to talk about hooks, titles, and hashtags here in just a moment. But if you're getting some value out of this video, don't forget to like it. Also, if you're not a subscribe to the channel. We're doing creator talks tonight. I got some gurus on here, and we're just trying to dive into some creator content. So, titles and hooks. So here's one of my, I guess, pet peeves. I don't like typing out the titles, especially like when it comes to shorts. Like Jeremy, you talked about that you can do batch uploads. Like, is there a quicker way to type out the titles? Does it even matter what I put on the title? I know it does with YouTube because I know with YouTube and the thumbnail and the title, they need to really reference one another. But titles, I just hate typing them out because it's like, what am I supposed to say on this short? What am I supposed to say on this reel? So, is there an easy way to do it? And what about the hooks? How can I, like you said, the skip rate? How can I keep the people from sliding, from scrolling? How can I do it?
So I would say right now with Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, from what I understand, has this too. That's why there's different um, applications. I think Brian, you did a recent interview with someone where he mentioned like it's some kind of website you can go to, and it kind of help you with SEO. So Facebook and Instagram, they're highly into SEO now, which is search engine optimization. They don't really care about the hashtags like they used to anymore. And within Facebook, it told me your videos get more views without hashtags. So I stopped using them. So they're
Hmm.
leaning more on search engine optimization, meaning what are your keywords that you're putting in those captions? Um, that's going to cause it to be pushed out to somebody else. So they're leaning into that. When it comes to the titles, if you know, kind of search or have your list of other creators, like you can kind of look at their title. Okay, what do they have on their title? Okay, I have this video about this. Let me go into the search bar and just start typing in, what I might think would be similar to my video, and which videos have, the highest amount of views or engagement. And you want to build your titles based around that, because if this certain amount of people watch this video with this title, and you're kind of leaning in and keeping those keywords in your caption, then it could show your videos to that same audience. So that's kind of how, I lean into that, more of search engine optimization to create titles. And as far as hooks, that's just basically like your first 3 seconds. The attention span of people is short now. So YouTube is different. YouTube leans in on the long form content. So people's attention span is a little bit more, like, it's better on YouTube. But when it comes to Instagram and Facebook, their attention span is short. So you have to hook them in the first 3 seconds. What can I do right off the bat that's going to say, I need to continue to watch this video or not swipe? So if you're trying to build them up, like, which is what I used to do in the past, and it would work, that doesn't work anymore. I used to kind of start low and, kind of build them up to the end. You almost got to come in with the punchline and find a way after you do that to keep them watching the rest of the video. That's where the hook comes in.
Okay. So hashtags are dead.
Hashtags are dead. Even Adam Mosseri on Instagram basically said, like, they don't significantly increase your reach at all.
So it's about the keywords. You got to make sure you're using keywords.
Keywords.
Do I need a book? Because I see, some people, they have a big long paragraph in their Instagram post, and it's like, I don't even read all that. I just try to look for the main stuff in there. But I see some people post. It's a lot of information in there. So does that help it to have more words in that Instagram post? Or
I don't think it necessarily helps to have more. It's just making sure you have the right ones. So if you have the right ones and it's more, then great. But if you have the most important ones in a shorter caption, then that's what is going to help you. It's not necessarily the length.
Gotcha. Okay. Probably need to have a whole session on that, Facebook, Instagram.
And of course, you want to have your own screen text to draw them in, because just like kind of like YouTube with the thumbnail, whatever you put as the on screen text, that's going to be what will actually cause them actually click on your video and continue to watch it.
So your thumbnail should have a keyword in it. Is that what you're saying?
It should have maybe like a phrase. So like for me, mine may be something dealing with POV. Something in that on screen text is going to be like, let me watch this video and see what it's about. Mm-hmm. Like if you have nothing, then what makes them want to even watch the video? Like they don't know what it's about. It didn't draw them in, but it starts with the on-screen text for Instagram and Facebook. And then from there, that's where your hook in the first 3 seconds comes in.
All right. School us, sir. All right. Well, Charleton, what do you say about the hooks and the titles?
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't say that much has changed on the YouTube side of the house. I feel like your title, your thumbnail, and your hook are still king, and they're very critical to the success of your content. One thing I can say about YouTube, maybe versus some of the other platforms, is you have the flexibility to change out your thumbnail and your title. So if you do a title and a thumbnail and you want to put it out there, see how it works, and then maybe a few days or a week later, go in and change out the thumbnail and the title, you can do that. But yeah, to piggyback what Jeremy said, you definitely want to have a title that catches people's attention. And it doesn't have to be the overarching, topic of whatever the video is about. I was watching a video the other day with that guy Stephen Graham, who he's got two platforms. He's got Stephen Graham, but then he's also got like the Iced Coffee Hour or something like that. And he was interviewing a content creator, and the title of it is made $100 million in 1 year. And that's what grabbed. You know what I'm saying? Of course, that wasn't the whole conversation, but it's impressive that a content creator was able to make $100 million in 1 year. So you want something that grasps. Of course, because of the size of the thumbnail on YouTube, you can do a thumbnail that doesn't even have words. You can just do something that has a picture that kind of grasps people's attention, and you can use the title off to the side to say something. Of course, it's probably been said a million times. You don't have to match the title on your thumbnail to the actual title of the video. It's probably better to not do that, so that you can say more things to grab people's attention. So that's definitely a strategy. And of course, with YouTube, the hook or the retention is not 3 seconds; it's 30 seconds. So they measure to see how many people are still watching your video within the first 30 seconds. And a decent retention rate is like 60 to 70%. A good retention rate, I would say, is 70 to 80. I would say an excellent retention rate is like over 80%. If you got over 80% of your viewers still watching after the first 30 seconds, you've definitely done the right thing to hook them. And there's all different types of strategies to this. I've played around with different things with me. Like when I first started,
yeah, tell us about when you first started. Tell us.
Man, when I first started, I was having a hard time transitioning from teaching Sunday school in person to teaching it online. And I was warming up like I was warming up like I was preaching a sermon. I'm first giving honor to God. We thank God for each and every one of you. We got an excellent lesson today. God's gonna move into and I was doing all this big, long, ceremonial semantics. And like Jeremy said, people's attention span is short, and I was taking too long to get to the point. So I learned to just cut it short. If I greet them, I just say, "Hey, my name is Charleton Lewis. Thanks for showing up. Today we're talking about blah." The title of it and the scripture, like, go straight to it. And then I get to an intro. I've even played around with putting the intro at the beginning of the video. So I don't even introduce myself. I just come in hot talking about something. And that works very well, because you can use your intro as an opportunity to say something to pique people's interest and, create tension, maybe ask a question, or whatever. And it's a really good opportunity. And I've noticed a big difference in my retention rates based on how quickly I got to the point. So, you don't have time to play around. So I think what's also interesting is that when it comes, especially when you start doing longer form content that's 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes long, is you have to have interval hooks throughout the content. It's not just that one hook in the beginning. What a hook does, it earns you the right to continue to engage that person. So you give them a hook, and then you give him whatever the substance is connected to that hook for about 2, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And then you got to give him another hook. You got to earn another 5 minutes out of him, then give him another hook. So that's something that you got to think about in your scripting process, is have multiple hooks throughout the content. This is a topic we could talk about all day long, honestly, because
multiple hooks, goodness,
because YouTube has YouTube Studio.
Yes.
And similar to what Jeremy was talking about, it'll tell you exactly, the demographic, as far as the age, the gender, and the geographic regions of people that are watching your content. It'll tell you what time of day, what days of the week that they're watching your content. And again, that's on across your whole channel or on individual pieces of, content. You'll know exactly what is resonating with people, and it'll give you great feedback as to what you're doing well, and maybe some opportunities that you have to improve. And I really like it because It's objective. YouTube doesn't have an opinion. YouTube Studio, it doesn't like you, it doesn't hate you. It's just giving you the facts. And some people, you might think, oh, I'm a great communicator, like I can really go, you know what I'm saying? And then you look at the metrics, and it's like, wow, I'm really missing the mark. So it's great feedback to show you how to be more engaging as a communicator, as a content creator. So yeah, multiple hooks.
Multiple hooks.
That would be my nugget to give you.
I haven't heard the multiple hooks strategy, but that's good to know. So you got in your videos, because Charleton, your videos are, like you stated, 45, 50 minutes. So do you strategically plan out your hooks? I mean, is it in your, really? Yeah. So how do you come up with those hooks? Is it, you just say, okay, right here, is it just I guess it's based off the lesson maybe, or how do you?
Right. Obviously. Yeah. So my hooks are always relating Bible to the modern believer, because it's easier to just talk about a passage of scripture and just give the details of the text, or start teaching, the definitions of words, and it can just sound like a lecture. But the reality is people don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. So the way that I do it is I create sections to where I explain the problem, I explain the text, and then I inspire. So it's the problem, the text, and then inspiration. If I haven't done those three things in a certain section, I've failed. So, and I always end with the inspiration. So you can go back and watch my videos. I'll always say, so for the modern believer, what this means for you, and that's the inspiration, and that's the hook. And once I do that, I'll move to the next section, because now I've said something that they're like, oh yeah, that's good. That's for me. And now I've earned the right to keep talking to them. And again, if you've got a however long video, 50-minute video, if you're getting retention around 45, 50, 55% of the entire content, you're doing a phenomenal job. You know what I'm saying? That's I want to encourage somebody with that. Like, you're never going to get 100% retention. So that ought to tell you something. If you're up there preaching a sermon for 45 minutes, people aren't listening to everything you're saying. At best, they're getting 40 to 45%, but most people are not getting 40, 45, 55%. Most people are getting maybe 10%, maybe 15%, because it is hard to keep people's attention these days. You really have to be doing something. But I would encourage, I'm going to say this real quick, and I'm going to stop because I feel myself rambling.
Come on,
I would
sir.
say to any content creator, focus on retention and watch hours more than views. That hasn't been said. The platforms want to hold people on the platform. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want people to click on a content, stay on it, and either watch the entire video or move to another piece of content on that same platform. And the better you're able to retain, I really wish I could be as transparent as I want to, but I'm not trying to be but because I've heard people talk about their channel. Like, I listened to a guy. Okay, I'll put it like this. I was watching a guy's video just yesterday, and he had a video that got 120,000 views. One video got 120,000 views, and he said how much that video made. Okay, my channel gets about 100,000 views a month, not just one video, the whole channel. And my channel makes 5 times what that guy said off his one video. So the reason why, I'm pointing out that guy made a 10-minute video and his retention is probably 3 minutes. But I'm putting out 50-minute videos that are getting 30 minutes worth of retention. You see what I'm saying? So I have much less overall views, but I have really high retention. And if, again, when we talk about strategy, if you're trying to be strategic, you need to focus on what this platform is looking at. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's a great way to pop your collar and be like, oh, I got 100,000 views. That's great. But if people are only watching 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute of your video, you're really not doing anything.
That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying? So
retention,
multiple hooks, retention, it's the name of the game.
Whoa.
I'm gonna say like that, like he hit on some really good nuggets that like the retention is big. So like just to piggyback on that, when he said he spread out hooks throughout, his long form. So when it comes to short form, you want to test different hooks with the same video. So let's say you could create 2 or 3 versions of the same video with different hooks, and you can post those different versions. Maybe you post one hook the first time, it flops. Okay, with the hook on that. Maybe the video itself is not bad, it's just a hook. So my second version has a different hook. It flops. But that third one, it had a different hook, and now it's working. Even within YouTube, they have what's called trial reels. So you can test different videos within trial reels where they'll show it to all non-followers first, see how it resonates with them, and then you can share it with your audience or your current followers. So have different versions of the same video with different hooks. And I've done that to where when I'm editing my video, I might have 2 or 3 versions, and I put them in a separate folder. So I know the first time I posted this one, the second time I'm gonna post this one. And there's times I posted it flopped, but the second or third time it took off. So you just never know. And even within, let's say you only have one hook, you might post that same video the first time and it flops, but the second time, like I'll give an example. I had one video where the first time I posted it, it got like 7,000 views. I waited a while, same video. That one I didn't create multiple hooks. I just had one hook. The second time I posted it, it got 1 million. Another video I posted it the first time, I think I want to say I got like maybe 40,000 or something like that. Now I recently reposted it. It's almost at 4 million views right now. So like you just never know. The first time didn't work, but the second time did. Sometimes it's the hook itself. Sometimes it's just reposting that same video with the same hook.
So wait, you said you got different hooks for the same video,
right?
So you post that same video, I guess, spread out over those days. Like maybe, like you said, Facebook allows you to repost something for 30 days. So the next 30 days, you got a different hook to it. Is that what you're saying?
Right. So let's say so when we record videos, since we do, skits and funny content, we shooting multiple takes of the same video, and we're picking which version of or which take was better in our minds. So in our minds, we might think this take is better, and then we put it out there and we're like, I thought this was the one, but I do have this other version. And then we put that out there, and next time it might do better. It's like, okay, well, it was different. Because, sometimes we improv. We don't always go off a script. So something we said in the next time might be better. And that's what draw them in, because we notice that certain things that we say within the video, they'll quote that in the comments. So whatever we said in that video resonated with, the people, and they'll put that in there.
Okay. Multiple hooks and different versions, different hooks for your video. Man, I never heard that. See, y'all are helping me. Multiple hooks. I like that. Okay, so man, y'all know we've already been talking an hour. This is crazy. I don't even think we even touched half the stuff that we're supposed to talk about. All right, so I want to. What about like as far as the actual? Well, no, I want to hang on. I want to go back to something Charleton said. Charleton, you said it took you a while to get comfortable from switching to teaching in person to talking to a camera. Any advice for somebody trying to talk to the camera? How did you get comfortable with that?
Yeah, content creation is a contact sport. I feel like I've said this many times before, and I'll die on that hill. volume is key. Anybody
Yes.
who advises you to start a channel, they'll tell you in the beginning, just go for volume. Get to
Mm-hmm.
100 videos as quick as you can, because by the time you get to 100 videos, you'll know your style. You'll be comfortable in front of the camera. You will have a process, down to where it doesn't take you as long to, do the front end production, do the recording, do the back end production. Like by the time you get to 100 videos, you'll be in a really good place. So that is my best advice. And again, YouTube is in a place where authenticity is having its day. You don't really have a lot of, really big content creators would tell you some of their less polished videos have the most success. And so even if you aren't the greatest editor in the world, and even if you don't have all the bells and whistles, just press record. Say what you got to say, upload it, and move on. Go to the next piece of content. Go keep going. And as you go, as you go, you will be healed. You'll get more comfortable. Because the reality
Come on with
is,
the word, sir.
yeah. You listen to so many content creators that they tell you the same thing, man. Like when they first started, everything they did, they felt it was cringe, but by the time they got a year in, they sounded like a pro. They sound like they've been talking their whole life, so just create content and keep going, but you got to be consistent, and I know so many people that I know personally that would be great content creators. I mean, they're so knowledgeable, they're so gifted, but they don't know how to be consistent. They'll upload content for like 2 weeks and then life will get real, and they'll stop, and they think that like, oh well, maybe it just wasn't for me. No, it's for you. Again, that could be a whole nother creator talk to talk
Write that
about
down.
consistency,
Yes.
because
Yes.
if you're going to be comfortable, you have to get in the routine of being like, okay, I record on Mondays at 7 p.m. and you've got to protect that, and you guys know that because you know me personally, especially, Brian, like whenever we talk about doing stuff personally, you'll be like, he'll ask me, Charleton, what day of the week are you recording? Because he knows that day's not available.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's really what you have to do in order to be consistent. You have to protect it. There's been so many social events and things I've gotten invited to, and if it's on a day that I'm recording, guess what? I'm not going. And that's what you need to do in order to be consistent. But consistency, it'll get you there. So I'm gonna stop there.
That was good.
That's a hot button for me.
That is
consistency.
Yeah, that's good though, because I like that, because you map out that calendar day and like, look, we're not doing nothing. This is that time. This is what that time is reserved for. Even outside of content creation, like it's family time. Like, that's important. So if you got family time outside of content creation, right, stick to it. Right, stick to it. So that's important too. But I like that as far as content creation. I think that'll help some creators that, look, if you want to be consistent, put it on your calendar. Like Jeremy talks about it all the time. Put it on the calendar, all that. And but no, that's good. Jeremy, what about you? How are you and Devion get so comfortable? Y'all even getting the kids on there. I mean, y'all look like naturals.
Yeah, like he said, consistency. Like the more I did it, I just got too comfortable with being me. So like I've always enjoyed comedy and funny stuff, but y'all been knowing me a long time. Y'all would say when y'all first met me, I was very reserved, right?
Yeah, very.
And so I just got to the point where like I kept recording. I'm like, okay, this is just me. This is how I am at the house. I just don't show nobody this stuff. So if I continue to do it, I continue to do it. It gets easier. It gets better. And now like we just able to, like, a lot of stuff improv. We might have the idea and the concept, but we do a lot of improvisation over here because it's what's easy. And like Devion said, it's more original when you do it like that versus You sound like a robot sometimes with a script with what we do. Now, some people's content you need to stick to the script, but sometimes we do a lot of improv, and the more and more we've done it, the easier it's gotten for us to just do it like that.
That's good, man. Good stuff. Because I think that's a problem for a lot of people trying to get comfortable. And I think like you stated, like Charles stated, the more you do it, of course, all your first videos you do, I agree, they're gonna be cringe, not gonna be good at all. So the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Okay, so I don't want to keep you gentlemen here too long, but you can definitely talk about something else that you want to talk about, or that maybe we missed, but I want to talk about maybe what a strategy looks like. Like, what type of content does a creator need to be putting out there? Like, do I need to be doing live streams? Do I need to do shorts? Do I need my long form? What does it look like? What does that package look like? Or what would you suggest maybe for some creators out there that, they can do to, kind of help that channel start getting through the algorithm seas?
Yeah, that's honestly that's a personal question. I would definitely say that you don't have to do all of it. You don't have to go live if that's not your thing. You don't have to do shorts if that's not your thing. You don't have to do long format if that's not your thing. Like, you can kind of decide from jump, or you could start on one of those and pivot to another. I've seen channels across the board that do any one of those and have great success. I see channels that are just all shorts and they
Yep.
have good success. I see channels that are just long format content. They don't do any shorts. They don't go live. All they do is just 10, 15-minute videos. They do great, and then there's some channels out there that all they do is live podcasts. Those are usually probably more of your entertainers and celebrities. So, part of this is artistic expression. So you have to do anything that keeps you excited. You don't want to do anything that's too complicated to where it presents itself as kind of like a barrier for you to be consistent. The process needs to be reasonably easy enough to where you could do it on a regular basis and just rinse and repeat. So I would say do whatever strategy you can be consistent at.
There you go. Whatever you can be consistent at. Yeah, totally agree. Mr. Reece, what do you say to that?
I would say the same thing. Like, whatever works for you, works for you. So we originally started out with the long form content, and then we pivoted to the short form content because that's what we were able to do with our schedule and flexibility. Like he said, shooting long form, it's a little bit longer. Then you can go right in and shoot a couple of shorts. I would say that people who do long form, they already have short form using applications like Charleton mentions, like Opus Clip. It'll clip that up for you, and you got short form content. But yeah, when it comes to people who only do short form, it is kind of an adjustment when you switch to the long form. And actually, to be honest, a lot of these platforms are moving towards long form content. Right now, I have a suggestion within my dashboard. Is telling me we'll reward you if you make 90 seconds reels. So I'm like, that's going away from what y'all used to say, which was 30 seconds. So they're starting to lean in towards that long form. And I've even heard about certain testers or beta testers in Instagram where they're being able to watch it on TV, which is crazy. So I would say do what works for you. But yeah, like you said, that's going to be personal.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree because everybody's platform is different and they serve different audiences. So it just depends on what type of content you're creating and who you serve, which I would totally agree with that. Most definitely. All right. Is there anything else that I know like I said, I know we didn't even touch the surface on a whole lot of stuff, but is there anything that we need to touch on that maybe we missed?
No, I think we did a pretty good job covering it. I think if there's anything that we just touched the surface on, we can kind of table it for next time and and continue to develop it. I think we gave a lot of really good nuggets. I learned a lot from both of you guys. Yeah, this has been great.
I learned a lot too about the multiple hooks. That is like that's like, okay, yes, I got to do some multiple hooks, but no. Yeah, Jeremy, what do you any final thoughts?
No. I don't think we missed anything. I mean, for what we can squeeze in this time frame, there's more.
Correct.
But that's gonna be for the next episode.
Correct.
But I would say, let this be encouragement to other people. Like, just remain consistent. Like Charleton said, consistency is key. That's gonna be different for everybody. Mm-hmm. People like me, I have a full-time job, and lately I've been having to work overtime. So my consistency may be different from someone else who has more free time. I know there are certain YouTubers out there, they post once a month and they still do good, which is crazy. There's other people that post maybe 2 or 3 times a week. But consistency is going to be different for everybody. But the key thing is to stay consistent with something.
Yeah.
You don't want to go extended, long periods of time without posting, because you're no longer it's going to be harder for you to do it. You're not going to feel like motivated to do it anymore. It's going to take more of a press and a push to record that content. So I would say just continue to show up, and after a while, you'll be rewarded for it.
Yep, for sure. Facts. I agree with that. Consistency. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I like talking, like y'all was saying, that is definitely a hot button and a hot topic. So maybe
I've noticed you've been consistent lately, Brian.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
Yes, sir.
I normally try to hop on the lives with you, man.
Yeah, I know.
You firing them off so quick, but I was like, dude, he was live again last night. I was just like,
yeah, I know. Well, see, that one with Lindsay, I had to do with that one. We scheduled that one, but of course with her she told me she was going to be in the UK. And so I was like, okay, I'm just sending you a date and then you let me know what's good. And she sent me the date. And I just tried to pick a time that was good for me and for her, not too late for her because they're like 6 hours ahead of us. So with that one, I had to do that one early, but yeah, I'm trying to be more consistent. So I appreciate you guys too, because it's helping me, because I like to see y'all's content, but it's encouraging, just like even this conversation, it's encouraging because, we get to come together and talk about these things, but also it's just refreshing to hear from other creators, because I know we all deal with some of the same things. So consistency is something I'm working on, trying to get better at it. And hopefully next month, I'm gonna get the dates, but I don't have it for us to share tonight, but I'll get the dates. But next month, of course, I think we want to try to get together twice next month. So we'll get the dates and definitely put that out there for others. But I want to share you guys' channel. Just give me a moment here. I want to share y'all's channels, and I definitely appreciate you guys being here on tonight. Let's go to preview mode.
Brian's a tech guru, man.
Man,
listen. Yeah, he's a pro.
Listen,
man,
I
need to figure out these platforms, man.
We need to talk about that editing too. That's
oh yeah, for sure.
That's a big one too. Editing. Let's see. Where is? I'm trying to share my screen here. Hang on. Camera B. Here we go.
Nope. I wouldn't even know where to begin with the live.
So you wouldn't know where to begin?
No.
I was trying to share y'all's platform.
It's all good, man.
However,
where to find us.
Oh yeah. However, listen, if you got enjoyment out of this Creator Talk tonight, make sure you like the video. Also, I have their details in this video, so you can follow them, look them up. Of course, Charleton Lewis, he's with Just Teach. Ministries. You can find him out there on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook as well. He's sharing his Sunday school lessons that he does. Very good at it. And of course, Jeremy Reece. Jeremy's got like 2 different profiles. He's a singer, and of course, him and his wife, they do the Jeremy and very talented. The kids are even talented. The Jeremy and Devion show, where they do skits and different marriage topics. So I want to say, hey, I appreciate you brothers being here tonight. Of course, we'll be back next month. No, man, I appreciate you all. We'll be back next month to talk about some things. We'll get together and see what we're going to talk about. But thank you to everybody that was watching tonight and liked the video, that commented. We appreciate you all. And we'll call it a wrap. We'll let y'all have your evening. But thanks again for watching. Charleton and Jeremy, appreciate y'all. Y'all hang on. Hang on this time, Jeremy. Y'all hang on. But appreciate y'all. And we'll catch y'all in the next video. Have a good night.